Hey there, my name's Brad. I'm the Harley Davidson Wizard. Today we're back on the 2016 Screaming Eagle Limited that we were doing a safety inspection on. I just got word back that I'm allowed to get into the transmission and see what the deal is. So the whole deal here is it's unusually loose through the shifter linkage, and it's not just the bolt that's loose on this spline shaft. So it's unusual, but the customer has ESP, so we're going to get into it. So I'm just going to do a quickie, kind of like inspection, and pop the trans top cover off and see what I can see by peering down in there. I'm assuming this is this kind of like rusty little bolt there. That's for the neutral detent. It's basically like a long peg, and then there's a spring on either side that pull the shifter linkage back and forth. So I'm assuming that there's going to be like something going on there, either like the pin's damaged or just the spring's blown out or something, but I don't know. So I'm going to start off with pulling the trans top cover. Usually if we have to pull the gear selector mechanism through and replace it, usually you have to pull all of the guts out of the transmission and then pull that part out. But like 2 years ago, I had purchased this tool from Jim's. Those are the part numbers. And this allows you to replace the shifter shaft sleeve, and I believe the actual shifter mechanism, which would be awesome because that would save us a whole bunch of time. And I bought it like 2 years ago, and for some stupid reason I took it home, and then I lost it in the garage, and I found it again, but I've never used it. So hopefully we get a chance to use it. But this is a really sweet tool as far as maybe it'll make it quicker for us. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a time lapse, pop this thing off, maybe some of the air deflector, take a look down in there, see what we see, and then continue on going. But there isn't much room to get the camera and the flashlight in here, but it looks like just the detent spring is loose. It's kind of, I feel like they normally don't look like that down there where it's, I feel like both the springs are, oh, it looks like it's cocked sideways. See if I can pick any of that up. Man, I wish I had 3 hands right now. But yeah, down here there's 2 little pegs of a spring, and it's unusually loose. So alright, so we're going to get to pulling the rest of the primary. Just pulling the primary cover off, the inner primary, obviously getting the starter bolts off of there, and then we will pop it out and see what it looks like. Well, we made quick work of that. Let's get the, I was like, oh, it feels tight now, but that's only because it's in gear. Yeah, see how much slop that is? Very unusual. everything's looking normal so far. I'm going to pop this little snap ring off. This one's being a real booger. Alright. And that little guy comes off. Still nothing's looking unusual. Let's take a look at that new tool and see how that thing works. I'm going to read the directions. So, here we're going to try using our GEMS tool number 5517. And I've read the directions up to this point. It says remove the primary, remove the trans top cover, disconnect the battery, all of that stuff, remove the shifter lever and the snap ring. That's what we've done. And that's all like the normal chain of operations. The unusual part that I'm going to change up, well, it's not unusual, but it says to remove the seal here and then continue on with using their tool. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove the centering screw, and then I'm going to slide the shift mechanism back as far as I can, because the diameter of it drops down. And then once we get it through the seal, that'll give me a little bit of room. The most important thing to do now is don't do something stupid and scratch the bore. The easiest way to do something stupid is to scratch this bore with this pick, and man, then we're just being stupid. So I'm going to go what I think is the smart route. Pull the centering screw, push the mechanism back, get in with a pick, and pull the seal out. So knock on wood, here we go. Nothing unusual. I was just looking at the centering screw. There's nothing unusual there. It just has a little bit of oil on it. Alright. And then we're going to slide that guy in as far as we can. We're going to be super careful about this. And of course it's like in there pretty tight. I'm going to continue on this method. But since I'm being super delicate about it, I'm probably going to turn the camera off and bring you back. Oh, it's starting to budge a little bit. It was. I've seen so many of these boards scratched from people changing seals, doing stupid stuff. Then I gotta get in there and polish it. Oh, it's such a pain in the ass. Alright, let me grab a couple different tools. That thing worked out like a charm. I've never tried that before. But like it got in there and I'd probably already loosened it up, but it's got a bunch of dirt and crap in there. That is unusual. They usually aren't packed full of dirt. And then it says remove that, remove centering screw, remove shifter pause spring, which it was. Oh, remove shifter pawl spring off the shifter pawl so it's able to rotate upward. That's this little thing, like that. Oh, I don't even know if you could see that, but Here, I'll redo it. Alright, and then it has us remove the shifter paw spring. It's this thing. Just kind of peels up and over the side. And then it says lift that thing upward. So it's free to rotate upward. Insert tool number 5517-3. That's number 3. It's that thing. It says insert this thing. Remover guide into seal bore. Alright. That looks pretty friggin' dope. You see that thing? Cool. I like that. That looks good. Using the driver, insert the smaller stepped end into the remover. I'm sure that's this thing. Let's double check. Like, it could only be one other thing, but yep, dash one. It's that thing. Insert that thing into there. I like that. Using a brass hammer, tap driver until sleeve is free of transmission case bore. Be sure the shifter paw is pointing upward and forward towards the rear cylinder so that it clears. Alright, I got a brass hammer. I'm going to get tapping on that. It says to make sure that that thing is backing up. Alright, like I've said, I've never done this before, but here we go. Cover your ears. You know what? I'm going to put ear protection on myself. Now, I might speed this up, but I'm going to go very slowly and delicately and see where we end up. Oh, that's friggin' awesome. Look how sweet that is. Oh man, that's so friggin' awesome. That Jim's tool worked out so awesome. You know, I'd much rather have money in my pocket, but, you know, sometimes you just have to have the right tools. And that was definitely it. And right when we pulled the shifter paw out, I saw the problem. Can you see that? It's hard to tell through the GoPro if you can tell. But this spring, see it? It's not on, it's sitting right on top of like the little land that it's supposed to be sitting on. Now, see that? It's supposed to be like straight up. Let's hear if we hear like an audible click. You know what? That felt kind of mushy. But I've not seen this happen before. This is the first time I've ever seen it happen. But you can see how look how tight that screw is supposed to fit in there. It's supposed to fit that friggin' tight, and it was way up out on that edge. You can see the wear mark from it. So, you know, if this were, I guess you could put this back in and put it back into service now, but honestly, with what we have going on with this motorcycle, if you were watching the safety inspection we did on it, the antenna wiring is corroded and messed up. The antenna itself up in the tour pack is corroded. The engine temperature sensor is corroded and leaking. Well, it's leaking and then it corroded in the left radiator. And then I also noticed that it felt funny in neutral, like there was way too much slop in the shifter linkage. So the customer isn't paying for it directly, extended services, and I would say the right thing to do, which is what I would normally do, but I'm just telling you, I guess you could reuse this, you know, if you were trying to pinch pennies, but realistically, I don't know if it was right, like in the first place. And then there's some, like, maybe it's not machined correctly, and it's easy for that spring to pop up. Let's see. If it, you know, I don't know if it's been like that forever, but I think the right thing to do here is to replace this part. I always like replacing these bushings in the case. Like when I'm in here doing other transmission projects on other vehicles, I always replace this part, the bushing, and the shifter mechanism, because you get such a nice tight feel when they're brand new. And then we're going to be using a brand new seal in there, and that bore is perfect, so everything's cool there. So we're going to go ahead and get these parts on order and then get it put back together. But I'm really glad that we visually saw something that was funky, and it wasn't like a defect and something really difficult to get, like the engine case or I don't know, something wacky. So that was nice and simple. We got to use our nice new tool. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Come back and watch the follow-up video when we put it back together, and I'll see if I can do like a side-by-side of the old floppy linkage and how much awesomer it's going to be when it's back together the way that it's supposed to be. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.